40 days of love. We are recapping day 6, which was today, and we will prep day 7, which is going to be tomorrow. Come on in the room. I'm so glad to have you. It blesses me that you're here with us. We are just amazed at how the Lord is going to. I'm thankful for how the Lord's going to show up in your marriages. I know that maybe you don't see it, but trust me, when we give faithfulness and fidelity to a thing, the Lord will bless it. It's if it's in His plan, and marriage was always His plan, right? So praise God. I'm glad y'all are here. Alrighty, day 6. Let's go back and recap our dare from today. And I do hope that you all have been going back and sitting down and doing your reflections, because that's the only way you're going to know what progress you're making. Again, remember what I said. This has nothing to do with your spouse in the sense that you're not gauging. You're trying to do this towards them for you, not for them, right? You pray that the actions that you show towards them helps them change, helps them want to be different, helps them be better, but it may not be that way. And so those of us who go into it thinking, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to see immediate change in my spouse, that may not happen. You may not ever see change at all in the 40 days, but it does not stop us from moving forward. So today's dare: choose today to start reacting to tough circumstances in your marriage with love instead of irritation. Begin by making a list below of areas where you need to add margin to your schedule. Then list any selfish motivations that you need to release from your life. Did anybody do the dare for today? Again, get your calendar out. It's a Sunday. Kind of prep. Hey, this is where I am, but I need an extra 30 minutes somewhere. And then see where you can grab it from. I know for me, I've been going to the gym. I've been doing a solid 30 to 45-minute workout and then 45 minutes on the treadmill, all in the same day. If I need to grab 30 minutes, then I'm going to decrease my treadmill time to 15 minutes because I'm committed to my workout. The treadmill is just something extra that I'm trying to add to help aid in my weight loss. So if I need to shave off 30 minutes of my treadmill, I'm okay with that. So you just have to gauge where you are and then determine what you need to happen and make it happen. All right, you guys, tonight is day 7. This is kind of one of my favorites. I don't know why, but it won't be long, I promise. It won't be long at all. Day 7, which is tomorrow. Hey, ma'am, I'm not feeling the best, y'all, so I'm going to try to be quick and go to bed. All right, day 7, love believes the best. Now I wrote down, let me read for you all 1 Corinthians, and then I'll give you your source verses. Hey, ma'am, good to see you. Glad you all are here. Thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate it. All right, would you those of you who are chimed in, would you let me know if my audio is okay and the video quality as well? I'm just trying to gauge. All right, so okay, 1 Corinthians 13, starting at verse 4, and I'm going to read through verse 8. And if I donate all my goods to feed the poor, and if I give my body in order to boast, but do not love, I gain nothing. Oh, that was verse 3. Sorry, I'm going to start at verse 4. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, is not boastful, is not conceited, does not act improperly, is not selfish, is not provoked, and does not keep a record. Thank you so much. Of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for languages, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. So all of the things are going to come to an end at some point. Love will not. So your source verses for today is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7. Ephesians 4:29. Thank you again. Philippians 4:8. And then Romans 12:10. And then 2 Thessalonians 1:4. Now, I did put all these in the description box, so you should see those verses. Now, here's the thing, right? Um, he talks about the corridors of our heart, right? If you think about it, the Bible says, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak," right? Everything we feel is in here. Also, Proverbs 4:20 tells us to guard our heart, right? You have to guard your heart because all kinds of things can happen. Guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. I just want to make sure I got that right. So, in the chambers of your heart, there are two rooms. He talks about two rooms. You have the appreciation room. In this room is where you list all the positive attributes, all on the walls. He talks about this room as it like it is a real room. So everywhere on the walls, you write down every good attribute, every good characteristic about your spouse. They are a good provider. She is excellent cook. He does amazing taking care of the lawn. She is great at taking care of the kids. Whatever their positive attributes are, we write these in the appreciation room. She's honest. He's intelligent. She has beautiful eyes. All those types of things. So all of the good stuff we put in the appreciation room. Now, here's the thing. He says that probably was at the beginning, right? When you were dating. Oh my God, they can do no wrong when you're dating, child. They are the top tier, all the things. As soon as that honeymoon phase is over, you like, wait a minute, who did I marry? Who the bleep did I marry? Right? And so that's usually in the beginning stages. It's just you, typically, it's just the husband and the wife, no kids. You're just learning each other. All the things are going well. Well, you hit that again, like I said, the honeymoon phase is over, and then you have another room, and that's called the depreciation room. It's just like what it says. When you buy a car off the car lot, the minute you drive it off, it is now decreasing in value. You've done better to save that money and invest in real property like a home or something of that nature that's going to gain value. But when you buy a vehicle, it loses value the moment you drive it off the parking lot. All right. He said in this particular section that generally we don't spend a lot of time in that appreciation room. Again, after that honeymoon stage is over and you realize that they feet smell like corn chips and they leave their clothes everywhere and they don't clean up after themselves, now you start spending a lot more time in that depreciation room, and all over the walls in that room are all the negative attributes, the negative characteristics. He never comes home on time. He spends all the money before we get the bills paid. He drink too much. Whatever your negative attributes about your husband are on the walls in the depreciation room. Now you got to think about this, right? There's a favorite room in your house. I have a favorite room in my house. I love to be in my bedroom. I like to be in the living room as well, but if I had to choose, I would be in my bedroom. I have everything in here I need except food. And if I need food, I can just step out and go to the kitchen. But there are rooms I don't love. The bathroom is one of them, especially my kids' bathroom. I don't love going in there because I know it's not going to be as clean as what I would like it to be. And so I refrain from going into that space because it's going to make me say things that I probably should not say towards my children. Like, why is this not clean? Right? Okay. But we spend time in either of those rooms. Sometimes you'll visit the appreciation room, especially if they did something that was really kind towards you. You might visit that room, but we spend 99.9% of the time picking our spouses apart, and we spend time in that depreciation room. Because here's the truth. There's nothing that they can do once they have gotten on your nerve. There's nothing that they can do that's going to put them back in your good graces, at least for a few minutes. You like, don't try to come over here. Right? So we're spending time in that particular room, and we're writing down the things that bother us, that irritate us. And again, going back to the war room reference, when Miss Clara asked Elizabeth to write down all the things she didn't like about Tony, she said, 3 pages. She said, yeah, I could write a whole lot more if I had more time. Listen, we could write a book about our spouse and the things we don't like. I don't like this. I don't like his family. I don't like his job. I don't like the hours. I don't like how he don't bring home the money. I don't like how he manages. I mean, there's all types of things that we can come up with. And these things come up because we're frustrated, because we have hurt feelings, because we're disappointed, or we're disappointed in the fact that they didn't meet a need we had, right? Or our unmet expectations. We put an expectation in place, and sometimes we don't even communicate that expectation to the person, but we are still holding them accountable when they don't meet it. Now, how is that fair? Again, I'm going to ask that question. How is it fair to expect someone to meet a standard that you did not communicate to them clearly, and then charge them because they didn't do whatever it was that you thought they should have done? They didn't do it, or they didn't do it in a timely enough fashion. They didn't do it how you would have done it, right? And we charge that to people. Well, if it was me, I would have done it this way, but it's not you. Did the job get done? See, sometimes you got to leave your preferences. I would prefer to do it this way, but if he's taking care of it, what I prefer doesn't even matter. For me, if he doing it, listen, it's off my plate. I am done. I ain't got to worry about it no more times. Of course, there's a way that I would want to do it, but I'm not going to emasculate my spouse and make him do it the way I want it done. That's not what I'm going to do. That's me. That may not be some of y'all. He also says that their weaknesses, their failures, everything they've ever done wrong is in this room. He says, and I believe this is very true, this is where divorces happen. Your divorces, when people they getting all their evidence, right? We're getting all our evidence on what I'm going to use in court is in this room. This is where you learn how to fight. I wrote that on my section. This is in the depreciation room is where you learn how to fight. There's going to be there's another day where we're going to talk about fighting, but this is where you learn to fight, because this is where you come up with your best quips. This is where you come up with your one-liners. This is where you come up with, okay, next time he do something, I got something to say to him. Next time she do something, oh, I got a quick comeback. This is the room where you are doing all of that rehearsing of their poor and negative qualities. Here's the truth. We all have poor and negative qualities. And just like you have an appreciation of the appreciation room in your heart, so does your spouse. So you over here picking and tearing them apart, they're doing the same thing. We hope they're spending more time in the appreciation room than they are in the depreciation room, but you don't know. Because we all have things. We all have negative attributes. We all have characteristic traits that are not pleasing. Sometimes my attitude is off. It might be the wrong time of the month, whatever the case. And so no matter, we're spending time in that depreciation room. This is their bad habits, their hurtful words, their poor decisions. Poor decisions, y'all. Let me tell you something. Poor decisions, I know in my marriage, this was a big one. Or no decision at all. We're in limbo. Life is hanging in the balance, waiting for you to make a decision, and you never can decide. So nothing ever gets done. And here I am. I'm putting, he don't make a decision. He don't make no choices. We out here. We just, I put all that in that depreciation room. And I had a ton. I probably had multiple rooms, child. Right? Again, he says this is where your emotional injuries fester. Anything they did, said to hurt you, to wound you, whether they knew it or not. And again, sometimes we don't give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes people wound, but they did not intend it, right? Have you ever, we've seen where there's been particular violence in a specific area and somebody was a casualty. This wasn't meant for you, but you caught it anyway. And sometimes that is what it is. This isn't really meant for you, but because you're in my line of sight, you're going to get it. Or you could, there could be a random spray and here you are. Okay. All right. He says, again, spending time in this room will kill marriages. What good is it? This is me talking. What good is it to sit in all of the bad and just ruminate over that thing over and over and over and over and over again? The truth is, we all know we have issues. Your spouse knows they have issues. They know what their weaknesses are, we hope. They know where they can afford to grow a little bit more. So again, we nag, 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 nag. Now he's up on the rooftop because he don't want to be in the house with us. And then we say, well, he don't never spend no time with me. So now we back to the depreciation. And we don't realize that it's all a cycle. It's a cycle, and it doesn't end until somebody puts an end to it. And it may not be you, it may be him, because I'm only going to go through this for so long. And after my time limit is up, or my ceiling has been reached, then I'm going to make a different decision. And most times that is a decision to exit stage left. I'll tell you this. When my ex-husband and I were married, we had started going to counseling at my church. He didn't like that, so we went to counseling at another church. He didn't like that either. So then we went to a regular therapist, counselor, marriage counselor. And as soon as I sat down in the chair, my ex-husband was sitting beside me. The man said, and I remember it was a man very clearly, he said, "Sir, whenever I see the woman at this stage, the marriage is over. It's over." And so I got to manage myself. I said, in good and bad, and rich and poor, and sickness and health, and all those things. I said every single one of those things. Did I mean it? Because you're going to find out whether you mean it or not at some point. It's not going to be roses and tulips every day. And you may have a season where it's real bad, it's real tough, it's real hard. But are we giving them the benefit of the doubt? My husband works hard every day. He brings home that paycheck. Are we putting more in that appreciation room than we are in the depreciation room? Because nobody wants to be devalued. Everybody wants to have value found in them. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I said, I'm trying to find value in me. They were talking about my social media. And I said, back when I was a single mom and I did not have a lot of invitations to go places and do stuff, the Lord gave me social media. Social media was not on my heart, but the Lord gave it to me. And I said, I've used my social media to try to add value to my life and the lives of those who watch. Because sometimes you don't always feel valuable. You feel like people just treat you some type of way and throw you away, discard you when they're done. So think about that. How you feel, that's how your spouse feels. When all they hear is the negative, the nagging, stuff they ain't doing right. I'm telling you right now, they already know. One of the reasons my ex-husband did not talk to me or communicate is because he knew he was doing stuff wrong. And he didn't want to hear my mouth. We did that for 14 years. We were together for 4 years, and then we got married. So 18 years total. But he didn't want to hear what I had to say. Because I don't think that back then I would say it kindly. Right? I'm getting ready to let you know what it is. But can I say this? I'm going to say it anyway. Thank you, Holy Spirit. When your spouses, whether it's the man or the woman, I know we got stay-at-home dads now. It's not, it's a thing to somebody, but it's not a thing to me. Lord, I just forgot my thought. What was I going to say? It'll come back. Because I lost it, but it'll come back. All right. Here's the thing, right? All of the things that are probably in that depreciation room are true. Oh, this is what I was going to say. When your spouse, man or woman, whoever's working, and maybe both of y'all work, on your particular job, there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days. There are going to be days when you don't meet the performance standard. There are going to be days when you get a bad review. There are going to be days when you have bad customers. There's going to be days, right? You got to go and sit in your boss's office and they got to just give you a laundry list of all the things you haven't done, haven't been, haven't said, all the things. So why is it that when I come home, I got to hear all that too? I already know. I already had a day, right? And that again does not say that you won't have courageous conversations, because I believe that courageous conversations are necessary. However, I don't need for you to come home and the first thing I do is start picking apart what you didn't do, what you didn't say. You didn't text me all day. I didn't know you was going to be late, blah, blah, blah. You didn't pick up the dinner. I told you, all those things. Nobody needs that, because we already know. Okay, I'm going to move on. We're going to be early tonight, y'all. Watch me now. All right, he says all of those things about your spouse, right? All the things. The more time you spend in your depreciation room, your heart devalues your spouse. You no longer are appreciation for them working. You're no longer appreciation for them bringing home the bacon. You no longer appreciation for them being home at night with you and not out with the boys. You're no longer appreciation that they initiate intimacy at least 3 to 4 times a week. You ain't interested in none of that anyway. So you are not appreciative of that. But when he's out there stepping out, you got a problem, right? See how we did that right there? Okay, we got a problem when he's out stepping out, but when he's trying to initiate because he needs that, and you marry the man. You marry who you married. You married who you married. And they need that, and now we're not trying to do what we need to do or what they need us to do, right? So we mad. Again, all of us have our shortcomings. All of us have our shortfalls. None of us are perfect. We all trying to do our due diligence in life. I know I am. Am I perfect? No. Will I be a good wife? Absolutely. Why would you be a good wife, Shakima? Because I've already been a bad one, and I know what not to do. There is nothing, and I'm saying this, y'all gonna have to check me when I do get married. There is nothing that my spouse does towards me that I'm not thankful for, because they didn't have to, right? They pay the mortgage, they make sure we got groceries, and I can drive a car and I got clothes. That's basic. As long as they doing basic, they met the standard for what marriage is. But when they go above and beyond, when they do more than what I was asking for, and maybe I didn't even ask, I just dropped a hint. I was just having casual conversation, and before I know it, something has shown up. Well, babe, I heard you and your sister on the phone talking, and you were talking about that news sent from Auntie Tab, his business, her business, and I just happened to see it on Amazon, so I just bought this for you because I wanted you to have it. And I got his business, so you got her business, and now it's our business, right? It's just those little pieces that they heard or they've seen you. You're trying to get your body back from having a baby. That's y'all, not me, because I'm done. You're trying to get your body back from having a baby. You were a runner before, and you don't have a running stroller. All of a sudden, you got a jogging stroller that shows up. They're doing something that says, I value who you are in this relationship. I value what you bring to this relationship. So I'm going to do above and beyond what's required of me as a husband to help you feel like you have value. Those types of things is what needs to be in the appreciation room. He thought of me. Oh my word. He did not do something he wanted, but he thought of me. And the more time we spend in that room, the less we're fighting, the more we're loving, the more we're appreciating, and the farther and farther away we get from the dissolution of marriage. And again, I want to say this and be clear. We all have our things. But one of the last things he said on this particular page 32, he says, love chooses not to live in the depreciation room. Love chooses to live in the appreciation room. And here's the truth. Nobody can force you to go in any room. You have to choose. It's your choice. I love you enough to look over your faults. I love you enough to look over all the things you didn't do. Again, that's not a get out of free jail card. Get out of jail free card. People have consequences for their actions and their behaviors. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I'm going to appreciate you more than I depreciate you. That's my heart and my goal towards my spouse that I don't even have yet. All right. You have to decide to stop running into the room and lingering there after every frustrating event in your relationship. I'm just reading this from page 33. It does you no good and drains the joy out of your marriage. Love chooses to believe the best about a person, your people, your kids, your spouse. We can believe good things about everybody else, but our spouse, we don't believe anything good about them. Or Here's another thing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We stopped doing the stuff we did to get them, right? There was a whole lot of stuff we did when we was courting or dating or whatever you calling it, when we was out here trying to get them. And now we do none of that. I often tell people, I had a friend of mine, and I hope she don't know y'all. I'm not gonna tell you her name, but a friend of mine was talking to me, and she was at home with her husband, and she just had on a kind of moo thing, whatever. And she came into the room where he was, and he said, "You looking like my mama." She said she turned around with the quickness and went on a website and got some things to make her not look like his mama. Here's the thing, y'all. We wear the mama dress, and we don't never put on anything else. I appreciate all that you do. I appreciate that you came home and said, "Hey babe, we're going on a date." Because I've been married to a man that didn't take me anywhere. We didn't have any money to go nowhere. He wouldn't even take me to the grocery store. Said I spent too much money. I'm like, okay, not bad. But when you find that next person and they're doing this and this and this and this and this, there's date after date, there's gift after gift, and that's not all important. And then y'all, get married. I'm gonna appreciate all the things because again, they don't have to do it. All right. He says, love focuses on the problem. We refuse to think of the negative, even though it exists, but we're going to focus on the positives. That's where we're going to spend our time. Close the door to the depreciation room. Open the door in the appreciation room. Go in and sit there for a while. Honestly, think about it, y'all. There are so many people out here that don't have spouses and we desire. But you do. Close that depreciation door. Open up that appreciation door and sit in there. And if there's nothing on the walls or maybe one or two things, go back in your memory bank and think of all the things that they have done for you that have been for your benefit. And then begin to pin out on those walls, I'm thankful for this. I tell the Lord quite often, God, thank you for my husband. I don't even have him yet, but I'm still thankful for him every single day. Every single day of the last 16 years, I've been waiting. And I'm more appreciative now because I know I'm getting into my older age in my years. My birthday's in a couple weeks. I'm gonna turn 50. So whoever chooses me now is gonna have me on the downswing. And that's gonna really test sickness and health. Because who's to say, right? But I want us to focus in that appreciation room. Think about all the things. What is it? Philippians 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's verse 8. I think that was one of our verses. It says, think of all the things that are true, that are lovely, that are good. Think of all those things, right? Yes, they probably have issues. We all have issues. But we don't have to stay there. The last thing he said, which I'll share with you all before I give you your day, he said, you must develop the habit of reining in your negative thoughts and focus on the positive attributes of your mate. This is a crucial step as you learn to lead your heart to truly love your spouse. Now, if you go back in the introduction phase, he talked about leading your heart. Sometimes our heart leads us, but we are the navigators of this space. You have to turn your heart in a direction towards your spouse, because something they do can turn it off. You want to turn it on. I don't want you to be turned off. I want you to be turned on. It's a crucial step as you learn to lead your heart. No, we're not going in this room today. We're staying here. You may even need to redecorate, child. Listen, I love a good decoration. I love a good room move around. Ask my kids. We'll move this room around 900 times until I feel better. In different seasons, I feel different about the room arrangement. But I can go in that room and sit there. At least when I'm arranging furniture, I'm in there for a while. And then I would start looking at the walls and be like, oh my God. I've always wanted a word of walls. I mean, a wall of words. And I've seen it now in a couple places where I think we were at a university in Alabama where they had the scriptures on the walls. I've always wanted a wall of words. Sorry, that's a tongue twister, y'all. All the good things. just so I can read them, right? All right, let's get to your dare. He says, it is a decision that you make whether they deserve it or not. So here's your dare. For tomorrow, day number 7, you're going to get 2 sheets of paper. On the first one, you're going to spend a few minutes writing out all the positive things about your spouse. So all the positive. I remember in what was that Medea's movie? Why Did We Get Married? When Lord, I can't even remember the girl's name now. When Tyler Perry and his wife, they were fighting, and then the guy who kept sleeping with the ex-girlfriend and his wife, they were fighting. And here comes Janet Jackson, because she's the therapy, she's a therapy girl. She gives them both a pad of paper. She says, okay, write out all the positives and all the negatives, and then just decide if you want to be together. And so again, 1 sheet of paper is all their positives. And I promise you, you can come up with things. It might be hard, but give yourself some time. Don't just do this activity to do it. Remember what I said in the very beginning, when Kirk Cameron did this towards his wife in that movie, he just kind of haphazardly did whatever. And then when she asked him, what day are you on? He said 42. She said, well, there's only 40 days. He said, well, I didn't give it my best effort the first time, so I'm going to do it again. Right? We don't want to do it again, or maybe you do, but if you want to see the results, give it your best effort right now. On your lunch break, pull out a piece of paper. Let me just write this down and really give it some thought. And then on the second piece of paper, you're going to write out all the negative things about your spouse. You might need it back and front. Maybe a put it. That's up to you. You're going to place both of those sheets of paper in a secret place for another day. They're going to be helpful on another dare day. Okay? There's a different purpose and a plan for each. At some point during the day, pick a positive attribute from the first list and thank your spouse for demonstrating that characteristic. If he brings home the bacon, you're going to say, babe, I just want to let you know I appreciate all the hard work you do to take care of this family. Thank you for working overtime so that we could pay off this extra debt, or get this car already paid off so we don't have a car payment. Whatever it is, because everybody's spouses are different. So you're going to take one positive attribute and you're going to thank your spouse for that particular thing. And that's your dare for day number 7. Tomorrow we're going to prep day 8, which is love is not jealous. So tomorrow night we're going to go into day number 8, love is not jealous. I do want to encourage you all to really, really, really take your moments to just do this activity. Do the activities. Don't just come join me every night just to hear me talk, child. Listen, I don't talk that good. But do these dares with faithfulness and fidelity, and I promise, if nothing else, you will see a change in you. There it is, you guys. Thank you so much, and I'm early. Thank you all so much for stopping by, for joining me tonight. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all the things. And if you're having major wins, please, please, please drop me a DM, either on my Facebook, my YouTube, or my Instagram. Wherever you follow me, just drop me, hey, Shakima, I was struggling with this day, but I did it, and this was the result. It's all going to help us down the line. If they don't change, you're going to change. I love you guys. Thank you again so much for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Bye now. You're welcome. Thank you so much.